Hey guys, what's up? Listening here. I decided to play around a little bit with command blocks on my server. I hadn't really played around with command blocks. Apparently, you can crash your server by playing around with command blocks. But I thought I'd show this off. This was something that I kind of thought of and designed on my 1.7.10 server. So it was one of the cooler looking things that I built. It is visible from above and where I've placed it in my server, so you can see the lattice work on top and kind of the just everything. It's really cool. So, um, at least I think so. You can feel free to hate if you want. So what it is a mastermind kind of game. So these indicator lights let you know when you've placed a right block that's not in the right place, or when one's in the right place. So if you have one in the right place that is also the right block, you'll get two lights, one for right block and one for right place. If you place down four blocks that are all the right blocks but in all the wrong places, you'll get all lights here. If they're all in the right place, you'll get all lights on both. So, um, like, let's see, I'll just go ahead and drop one block in there. This will accept any kind of block. The caveat is, specifically in my implementation, your payment for playing the game is you lose whatever blocks you're putting in there. So it takes them away. And I do have this in my public server. It is all guarded. You can't light it on fire, or creepers don't hurt it, stuff like that. However, I did leave it open to PvP and creeper damaging players and stuff whenever you're trying to play. So playing late at night probably isn't advised. So first thing, I added instructions over here. So it just kind of lets you know how to play the game. And you do have to wait a few seconds between each submission. 15 seems to be enough. It dispenses a prize for getting the right combination, and this can literally be any block in Minecraft. That is, well, pretty much if you have something like this installed, everything from here to here, and item frames and doors and signs and ladders and iron doors, carpet. Like, you can literally stick anything in here and it will count as a block, except entities, obviously, like minecarts don't work, that sort of thing. So, but pretty much anything else works that is available to a player. You could potentially stick something that's not available to a player, like fire, in it, but that would be kind of mean. Um, but so right now it dispenses this bow, which I have named the Thinker's Bow of Triumph, and I attached a little bit of lore, and it is super enchanted. So basically, I'm using this to introduce a handful of items to players that they normally wouldn't be able to get. So there's no possible way you can enchant this without using some sort of hacks to get this bow, because it's simply too expensive to enchant this way. And then I stuck some fun lore on it just for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and take you inside. I will warn you, this is very cluttered. There's a lot of redstone in here. The whole footprint of the outside is it is 16 blocks long, 16 blocks wide, 8 blocks above ground, and then that right there counts for 2 blocks underneath ground, because I colored the bottom of it up to match the lines going in. So technically it is 9 blocks tall, but then 10th if you want the decoration there. So so 10 blocks tall and 16 by 16 for a fully working Mastermind game. So let me go down in this hole here. Alright, so inside, I'll start out on the instruction side. So the instruction side is fairly straightforward. You click the button on the outside, it lights up all these command blocks down through here. Get out of here. Gives you all your instructions, and you can see they kind of wrap around and up the wall. I had to space them out so they didn't fire other command blocks, or get fired by other blocks. It was kind of a bit of fun putting them in here. But that's your instruction line. On the other side is the actual play button that lets you play the game, and I have one of those in here as well. So you notice this hopper disappeared in front of me and came back. So what I'd like input on as you're going through this video and watching it is how to fix this problem. So when you have something right, what it does is it drops eggs into that hopper. So I have a bunch of eggs already. Why did I pick up more? It's alright. Alright, so it drops eggs into that hopper to light these lights on the front. And then it removes the hoppers to reset the lights, and then it replaces the hoppers. Problem is that occasionally the eggs will fly out of the hoppers and right back into the newly created hopper. I do have a delay in there to kind of try to prevent that, but if they end up in one of the side hoppers, it'll still pick them up. So if anybody has any creative solutions to that problem besides like blocking off everything with stone to try to prevent it, what happens when you push the button is it fires this first line here, and then it goes into repeaters that are on a delay down there. Both of them are on a 4-tick delay, just to give it a little bit of time. These bottom command blocks and all the way around and spiraling up and ending right there on the end of the red line delete all of the hoppers that end up placed over here. It doesn't delete the hoppers you see here, but hoppers get created above these hoppers that have eggs in them, drop in, and count items inside. So the red line deletes all of those hoppers, and it deletes the center hopper, which is holding everything after you've submitted an answer and lighting that last row. So it resets your count of correct blocks. The green line comes over here. Here's my delay for trying to let the eggs kind of fall out of the system. And then it just recreates the center block there and the center block there. Just recreates those two hoppers. So what happens on the other end of this, whenever you push that button, when you push the button, there's a dirt block that turns into a redstone block and then back, pulses a signal through the entire system, and gives me eggs. So there's a line that goes just right there to a wool block underneath there. That's a repeater. And then this goes over to the orange line. I try to kind of color coordinate everything so that I know what does what. So the orange, this replaces the redstone block that appears there with dirt again to turn everything back off. And then it goes back over here and circles around, and this goes right back into this block, which is coming from the redstone block on the other side. So this block ends up getting pulsed twice instead of just once. So it kind of that's the system reset, basically. So whenever that block is powered, it powers off a torch underneath there, which fires up this chain of torches and just causes these command blocks here to pulse one time, which these command blocks test for whatever block you've got on the outside. Oops. I always wanted the one it's actually testing for being correct on the end, on the opposite end from here. So A is all the way down there, and then B, C, D, but then this one's testing for the correct block in B. So B is all the way, and then A, C, D, and so on, all the way down the line. If you have a correct block, but not in the correct place, it'll fire one of these blocks off with a comparator, go over here, and this will place a hopper with 5 eggs in it. So it gives you a hopper with 5 eggs. Once that happens, so this is for the right block, wrong place line, which is the bottom line. So it'll place one of the hoppers over here on top of those hoppers, and it'll give you however many lights you got for however many positions you have correct. And then this over here just comes off of this end block. If you have the right block in the right place, it'll fire off, and these blocks get created over here. Same thing, 5 eggs in a hopper, because 5 is the exact number that you need to light one light. So 5 eggs, 1 light. 5 more eggs, 1 more light. 5 more eggs, 1 more light. And 5 more eggs, last light. Now what you just saw was me deleting my command block down there that had a bow in it. And there's the bow. There's another bow, exact same bow. And then, so if you get all of them right, it tells you congratulations, you won. Right here. And gives you an item. Then deletes the blue wool block over there, and we'll cover that in a second. And then this here deletes that block there, so that you can't spam this thing and win a bunch of really cool prizes. If you get all 4 right blocks, but they're not in the right place, this block down here just says you're close. Anyway, so that is how it kind of determines how many blocks you got correct, but that's a little frustrating because this hopper pops and blows eggs out, and sometimes they end up in the other hoppers and feeding right back into the system. So this blue wool block, you probably saw it earlier in the video. Let me put it back real quick. Get rid of some eggs. This wool block feeds those. This 4 block right out here of command blocks removes your items from the game outside, so it actually clears those 4 slots right there and resets the game. So that's how that gets cleared out. And then your final little piece of the puzzle coming off of this command block here is that last little pulse. And what happens without that pulse, say you have a correct block but in the wrong place, say the block that's supposed to be in B is in slot A, it's going to fire that comparator over there, that comparator, it's going to go out, it's going to fire this command block. Well, as long as that command block thinks that, or as long as that command block thinks that that has the right block in it, even after you remove that block, there's still going to be a signal coming out of that comparator and going into here. So if you stick the wrong block in the right place again, it is not going to count it again, because this thing only counts if it loses power and then gets repowered by the redstone. So that's why it's important to pulse this whole entire tower twice. Once before you clear the blocks, then you go do this over here, clear the blocks, and then you pulse it again so that it rechecks and says, oh, nothing's correct, and resets all of your command blocks and comparator combos to thinking that you have a wrong thing, but it does not reset your lights. So when you push the button out here, anyway, that's the entire system. Like I said, there's an important thing for waiting the 15 seconds or so. It's not 15 seconds, but 15 seconds is a good number. But like I said, if anybody has any suggestions for the egg problem floating around, getting back in the comparator or in the hopper, suggestions would be awesome. If not, that's cool too. You can hate on my design or anything like that in the comments below. Feel free to rate, subscribe. I don't have a lot of content yet. I am planning on uploading some more. Anyway, that's kind of all I've got for this episode, so I will see you guys next time.